Good morning and welcome to the live Q&A here in the Manager Critic Group. I'm Cheryl Andrews, I'm the founder of Step by Step Listening, and we're on part 6 of how to improve your listening skills. And today I'm going to be talking about the kind of listening that we often need in order to make a decision. So if you do join me, please say hi, it'd be great to hear from you. So just a quick recap of the ones we've done so far. So we've done the kind of listening that we need when something's gone wrong, to the downloading, and often we might refer to this as counselling and listening. So it's someone who's able to listen to us while we talk about what's not working or what hasn't worked. And sometimes that just by able to express it without judgment, without correction, without suggestion, that's enough for us to release. We acknowledge the discomfort, the anger, the frustration, and it's gone. The next level is that sometimes we get stuck in that talking about what didn't work, and coaching listening will help people to think about what they want rather than what they don't want. So a coach would ask questions that are future-based. Sometimes, typically a coach would be associated with somebody who is stretching themselves to do bigger goals over a longer period of time. So maybe thinking of your business over 5 or 10 years. Or in your lifetime, if you're sat there at 80 years old looking back on your life, what would you like to have happen? They're the kind of questions a coach would ask you to really sort of stretch your thinking. So that kind of coaching is helping you to think beyond your current thinking. Clean language was another one that I talked about. Is clean language reflects you back to you, so that you can start to get to know your patterns, your flow, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, in order for you to be the best version of you at any one time. But it also helps you understand where your current comfort zone is. And if you want to stretch yourself, if you want to do bigger goals, bigger visions, it'll help you understand where the edge of your current thinking is, and how to get yourself just past that in order to keep expanding your ability and your skill set. Mentoring listening was another one we talked about, is when you actually go to somebody with a problem who you know knows how to solve it. So a mentor, a teacher. So you tell them what the problem is, the person listens to you, works out what you do know and what you don't know, what you've tried, what you haven't tried, and then they will give you their opinion or advice, and that will help you to work forward. And then the last one is the delegator we talked about, and that's when you actually want to tell people about your problem and you want them to actually do something for you at the end of it. So you're going to tell them what the problem, and you don't want them to teach you how to do it. You don't want them to tell you what to do or how to do it. You want them to actually do the task for you. So that's the 5 that we've covered so far. Today we're talking about decision making. And this is the kind of listening that when you have to make a decision, and it has to be a decision that's right for you, this is the kind of listening that you need. Now, the reality is that those 5 we've already talked about, you probably might need any one of those 5 in order to make a decision, because maybe you just need to download about what didn't work. Maybe you need to be asked questions that make you think about what you really want. Maybe you need things reflected back to you about what's worked for you in the past, what hasn't worked for you. Maybe you do need the opinion of somebody else to sort of calibrate it against, and that's the reality. And so when I do the Do Delegate or Ditch program, we actually spend time as in one-to-one sessions or in group sessions facilitating out how do we make decisions. So we need to think about that right now, and it's about when you're making a decision, what works for you. And for me and my daughter, this is the one that really got through us both completely, because I would often ask people for their opinion. I tell them what the problem was, and they would tell me their opinion. And I made an assumption that they always knew what was best, and I never really knew myself well enough to know where I couldn't say to them, well, that wouldn't work for me, because the way that I work, that wouldn't work. But generally what is happening with our decision making, we have a very logical process, which is, if you're going to make a decision based on whether you can afford it, whether you have time to do it, the impact it's going to have on your family, your business, etc. So there's quite a logical part of the process. There's a series of questions, a process you can take yourself through. And then there's your emotional drivers. And thinking about things that give us satisfaction and happy. Sometimes the decision we're going to make right now is very short term. So it's an instant gratification. So there'll be things that give you an instant sensory pleasure. So let's say, for example, you make the decision to help somebody. You'll get the instant gratification because you'll see them happy, you'll see all the smiling. But maybe the long-term impact is that you've left your to-do list again. Maybe you've got a dream to write a book, or maybe you've got a dream to have a successful business. Maybe you have a dream to have a very nice, clean, tidy home. Whatever your aspirations and hopes are, then you put that on the back burner. So there's an emotional part of your decision-making process that is going to be driven on what keeps you safe, what keeps you happy, what helps you. But the downside is that sometimes it's about instant gratification, things that make us, to our senses. So we can get some really good decisions from, think about, for me, things that give me instant gratification are walking in nature, exercising, resting, laying down, sleeping. But also what used to be the thing that gave me the instant gratification was food. So chocolate, wine, because it's using my senses and gives me an instant feel factor. So I want you to think about your decision-making process right now and think about what works for you. Because it took me a long time as a mum to realise that my daughter might tell me about a problem. She'd ask me what I think or what I was thinking. I'm thinking she's coming to me as a mentor of someone's experience. I'd give her my thing. And the minute I said it, she'll go, oh, that's wrong. You don't know anything, whatever. But what I've learned since is that often we need that external stimuli for us to feel it inside, to calibrate inside, that intuitive feeling, that gut feeling like, oh, that wouldn't work for me. So sometimes when we're being asked to listen to people to help make a decision, sometimes they just need to download the stuff that's not working. Sometimes they need to be asked questions to help them clarify. Sometimes they need to have their past experiences reflected back. Say, well, if they say, no, I can't do it, you might have some evidence of when they could do it. So you might be reflecting back evidence that they can, or evidence where it didn't work before for them, or evidence when they've done this before, maybe it's a repeated pattern. They may be wanting your experience as a mentor. They may not actually even want to make a decision. They may just want you to do it for them, and then they don't have to think about it. But if they do actually want your support to make a decision, or you're the person needing the support, then be mindful that there's often these emotional triggers and drivers that are helping us make decisions. And one of the challenges I know for some people when we've modeled it out is that the feeling that they get in their stomach when it's like they're really excited and like it feels right is very similar to the butterflies in their stomach when it feels wrong, when they're not sure. And so fear and excitement can feel very similar. And that's why I love clean language in the metaphor world, because you can actually start to describe them. So the beautiful metaphor with a client this week, which was a bridge from getting from now to wow. And the bridge was all rickety and it had a few planks missing. But by the time she'd finished the session, she'd worked out what the missing planks were, that the bridge became quite sturdy and quite solid. And so now she has a metaphor of when her process for that. So she'll be able to check in and find out in herself, is it the rickety bridge or the solid bridge? And it's really quick for her to check it in. I had another client this week who had a crystal ball that was powerful. And when you've got these metaphors of what's happening when you're making a good decision, then when you have these feelings that you can't really explain, you can't really articulate, you will have a quicker way of calibrating with yourself. So you'll become better at decision making faster. And if you've spent invested time in getting to know yourself and you know who you are, you'll know more of your metaphors, you'll know more of your emotional drivers, you'll know what it is that works for you and what doesn't work for you. And then that is when decision making can be really, really effective. So I haven't had anyone live today, so I'm going to leave that with you. If you've got any questions about decision making, what I'd like to do is invite you now to say, and obviously there's loads of different kinds of decisions. You've got the basic one from, what did you choose to wear today? Great example for a client this week, we were actually modeling out things, and she said when she gets dressed purposefully, she feels better. So when instead of just grabbing something from the wardrobe, but when she's consciously picking out something and then getting something else out that matches it, and she's getting things coordinated, then she's made a decision about her clothes purposefully, then that kind of decision means that she has more confidence in the day. So I want you to be thinking about your decision-making processes this week, and I want you to think about what's working and what's not working, and just see if you can map out what's the first thing that happens when you make a decision, then what happens, and please bring to the next week's live Q&A any questions, put them in the group underneath this post. But right now, if you had a very basic, simple decision-making process and you could map out how you do it, and then you've got the complex ones where they involve what you need, they involve what your family needs, they involve what your clients need, it might be even what your global goals and aspirations, they get more complex. and therefore you have to have a process in place that's going to help you to be able to know intuitively, very quickly, the impact that's going to have on everybody that you care about when you make that decision. And if you don't know the impact, you have to have the listening skills to say to these people, right, this is what I want to have happen. This is my decision, but I also want you to be okay with it. So that's important to me. What do you need from me to be okay with my decision? And so it's honouring that. What I do see people do when they make decisions, if they think other people are not going to agree with them, they either don't do it or they do it without any communication. So then it takes away some of the fun and the enjoyment of stretching yourself to the next level. So decisions are so key to everything that you do in a day. Decisions from the things you're going to eat, the things you're going to dress, the things you're going to say, the things you're not going to say, the decision to speak or not to speak. Everything about who we are as human beings is about our decision-making process, and also knowing and believing that we always have a choice. We can't choose some of the things that happen in life. Sometimes we have to accept things that happen. There's nothing we can, they're imposed on us, so redundancy or death or things that happen to us. There's nothing we can do about that. They happen, but we can choose how we respond to them. So a card I pulled out of my soul journey card today was grief, and they said, grief is an opportunity for gratitude. So when we have lost something, sometimes it takes losing it, before we really truly appreciate it, or we have gratitude for what we did have or what we had or who they were. So if you lose somebody, then it's an opportunity for gratitude to really appreciate who that person was when they talk about celebrating their life. But likewise, if you lose a job or you lose a contract or you lose a client, it's about gratitude and actually fully appreciating it. But you have a choice at the point, there's a decision you have to make between, I'm going to be in my downloading listening, I want to just download and acknowledge the pain and the sadness, to I want to be more solution focused, and I'm now going to move into that strength and solution detective kind of listening. I'm going to be sort of thinking about, what can I be grateful for about this? What can I really appreciate about this? What is this teaching me? And each time that you decide to move from one phase to the other, that's a conscious decision. But right now you may be making those decisions, but not consciously. And so when you go to people for help and you're trying to make a decision, it might be that you don't know what kind of listening you need. Perhaps you default to talking to people and they just keep giving you mentoring, they keep giving you opinions, and then it doesn't feel right. I've seen it happen with parents and business owners alike, where they go, I've got this problem, and then the other person goes, well, you could do this and you could do this. And nobody's asked the person what they know before. So some of the things I ask a client when I first meet them, if they say they want to work with me, I find out what's happening in their world right now that's making it a now conversation. I want to know, what is it that's triggered them to come and talk to me? I'll ask them what they want to have happen instead. And so I can work out where they are now and where they want to be. Then I ask them what they've already tried so far. So if you're trying to help somebody else make a decision, maybe the thing to do is find out where they are now, where they want to be, and ask them, what have you tried so far? Otherwise, you spend all your time giving them suggestions, but one, you don't even know what they are, where the situation is now. You don't really know where they want to be, and you have no idea what they've already tried. And so you have that conversation, don't you, where you go, what about this? And they go, no, I've done that, that wouldn't work. Yeah, I've done that. And then you start calling these people negative and saying they're not very helpful, they're not taking on board your suggestions. So you can ask them, what have you tried so far? You could also ask them what they think's missing. And so that's when you can start to really get down to what they need in order to make the decision. And whenever I ask that, sometimes people will say confidence. Sometimes someone will say someone on the outside that's just going to do it for me. Somebody who's got the skills. And then you have a better idea what kind of support they need from you to make a decision. And you can do it for yourself. So think about, what's happening in your world right now. What would you like to have happen? Coaching question. What's happening right now? That's being, with whatever you're feeling right now. What have you tried so far to get from where you are now to where you want to be? What do you think's missing? And then when you've got that unpacked, you could ask yourself the question again, what would you like to have happen? So I'm going to put those questions up in the group right now when I put the live video up. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to leave it on that thought today. So please tell me, what would you like to have happen? What do you know now about decision making? What will you do differently as a result of this video to improve the decision making process for yourself, but also how you support other people to make decisions? Thanks for joining me. Bye.